Hi everybody, Jane here, and today we're doing my Nonfiction November TBR. I will be linking Olive's announcement video below, but basically the idea is to read as much nonfiction as possible in the month of November, or at least to read more than you typically do. I'm already a nonfiction reader, so I will be trying to read mostly nonfiction during the month of November, although there might be a couple of fiction books that get slid in the way, but there are 4 prompts that Olive gave, and those prompts are design, sport, true, and voice. So I'm going to start by going over the books I have for those prompts. For design, I have Our Dogs, Ourselves. And the reason I did this for design is that dogs have been specifically bred to do different functions. So they're kind of like designer creatures. They didn't grow wild to have all of the functions that we have them do or the looks we have them do. We as humans have very much designed dogs to be how we wanted them to be. I am a dog lover, so I'm really excited to read this book. It looks super cute, and I love books about dogs. Sport was a hard one. I am not a huge fan of sports, and I was watching Olive's TBR, and she said that she used it as sporting something clothes-wise, so I thought, well, I'm sure I can find a book about clothes. So I am doing Shoes, A Brief History. This book is about, I presume, shoes and the effect that they have had on our lives throughout history. As you guys probably know, I write historical fiction, so things about costume and setting is important to me. So I thought A History of Shoes could be a great book. Also, it's fairly short in case I'm running a little tight that month, which is possible. The next one I'm going to be doing is going to be an audiobook. For True, I am doing The Real Lolita, The Kidnapping of Sally Horner. Now this book I don't know a lot about, but I guess it is the kidnapping that inspired the book Lolita. So I'm really excited to read it. I've read Lolita a long time ago, but it's an I enjoy true crime, so I was excited to pick this one up from the library. The next one is Voice. And for Voice, I'm doing Becoming Dr. Seuss. Biography on Dr. Seuss. I am buddy reading this with a friend of mine. She's not a booktuber, but she's my best friend. So we're reading it together. It was one of those funny situations where we both just randomly saw it at the library, picked it up, and then we're like, oh my gosh, you picked up that book too. She didn't even know I was reading it for Nonfiction November. So I'm excited that this is what I'm going to be reading. I'm also participating in a read-along with Steve Donahue. He is doing a read-along on his page for Darwin, The Origin of the Species. And I did get this in an audiobook as well because I'm a little concerned that it's going to be a lot to get through. It is only 6 hours, and it looks like I did pick up the abridged version, which isn't great. I may go and see if I can find a non-abridged version at the library. But I am excited to be reading it and to give it a try. I recently read the graphic novel version of it to kind of get a taste for it before I started into something that I was worried would be kind of complicated. Alright, so the rest of the books on my TBR I may or may not get to, but they are all nonfiction that I'm excited to read. There is Hope Nation, and that is where YA authors share their stories of inspiration. As an author, it can be kind of rough, feeling like nobody's reading your books, feeling like you're not producing at the level you'd like to be. It's a rough life. So I'm hoping to get some inspiration from these authors. I don't know if it's meant to be inspiration for YA readers in general, like, hey, teens, life isn't bad, or if it's meant to be for other writers, but I'm going to give it a try. This is one that I'm not sure I'm going to get to be honest. Like, I'm excited, but I'm kind of on the fence about it. depending on what it turns out to be. If it is writing stuff, I'm going to be all over it. But if it's just, hey, life is hard, teens, we'll be fine, we'll see. Another one that I'm excited about, but a little bit nervous because of the complexity of the content, is Everyday Life in the Bible. I am not a super religious person. However, I do like context for religious stories, especially as I help my children learn religion and understand the things happening in the Bible. So my children do go to church. My children are religious. I am just not personally religious. So being able to help them and explain things background-wise about the society and stuff that was going on that would be hard to understand would be useful and exciting. I used to be a Sunday school teacher, so I'm fairly well versed in the Bible, but having a little extra context could be nice. But it's also a fairly thick book and obviously a complex topic, so 50-50 chance on here. The last two I am pretty sure I'm going to get to because I'm really super excited to read them actually. One is From Here to Eternity by Caitlin Doughty, and it is traveling the world to find a good death. And I love Caitlin. I follow her channel. I will make sure I link that below. She's great, and I read her first book, which was Smoke Gets in Your Eyes. And it was about her work in the death industry in a crematory. And I'm on the hold list for her next book, which is Will the Cat Eat My Eyeballs? Which is children's questions about death that she answers. I'm planning to read it with my kids, and I'm really excited. The cat one, not this one. This one's a mommy read, so I'm excited about this though. I do love this author, and this is not a huge book, so nonfiction, I prefer it not to be huge because sometimes if it gets too big, it can get a little bit sloggy, and I hate nonfiction that slogs. I want to get in there, learn what I need to learn, enjoy it, and then get out. So I'm excited for that one. The last one that I'm almost sure I'm going to read is Investigating the Murdoch Mysteries, the official companion to the series. Now, this book is a book about the TV series Murdoch Mysteries. I am on season 2. I absolutely love it. I am a little nervous to read this book at this point in time because it covers seasons 1 through 8, and I don't want too many spoilers, but I will probably be at least through the second season and well into the third, hopefully, by the time that I start this, because I'm currently binging it with my one daughter who loves mysteries. So I'm excited about this. This is a great TV series. I am just in love with it, and it will be cool to know more. It's not huge, and it also has a lot of pictures, very picture heavy, so I'm excited. Just really looking forward to reading that. So that is my Nonfiction November TBR. It is not a hard set TBR, so there may be variations. I fully expect there to be a couple other nonfiction books I pick up along the way. I am on an ARC team for some of the Sterling and Stone books, which are books on writing, so I tend to get 1 to 2 of those a month to read as well, so there will probably be some of those in there. There may be some fiction that shows up after I am done with all the nonfiction, especially audiobooks. I do have a couple of nonfiction audiobooks that I'm potentially looking at, but I just don't know yet what I'm going to get to. But this is kind of an idea of what I'm thinking for my Nonfiction November. Are you participating in Nonfiction November? If so, what are you excited about? What are you hoping to read? Have you participated in the past? I did it last year and I loved it. But again, as I said, I typically read some nonfiction, so this is not out of my comfort zone, I guess. My social media is below. Also below will be the link to Olive's channel, her announcement of the Nonfiction November if you have questions. If I can remember to, I'm going to put Steve's announcement of the Darwin read along, and I will put a link to Caitlin Doughty's channel. All worth checking out. Below that will be my social media, so if you would like to connect with me, feel free to do so. Also, I am an author. I write mostly romance. Links to my books will be down there as well. Thank you for listening. I'll see you next time.